Hey everyone, happy New Year's Eve. Welcome to the Lovin Show. We are live right now. I'm here with Amy because Sharina's still away. Welcome, Amy.
Hi!
And this week we are joined by Ali Al Saeed, co-founder of Dubai Dubology.
You messed up my name. Do it again. No, don't do it. It's okay.
Ali Al Saeed.
Yeah, you got it.
What did I say the first time?
It's wrong the whole way. It's Ali Saeed, but I don't expect you to get it.
One more time, and then if I get it, if I don't get it, we'll cut it. Ali Al Saeed. No.
Sure.
Say it one more time.
So it's Ali Saeed.
You try.
Well, you're not gonna be able to do it.
I can't speak
So forget
English,
it.
let alone anything like no.
It's okay.
I apologise, but a hero on the local comedy scene.
Do you just want to take over? Do you want to announce
Yes,
yourself?
we are here with Casey
Hi guys.
and Amy
Hi.
and myself, Ali Saeed. Boom! Nailed my
Hey!
name. Got my name right.
And you work in comedy, I think?
A little bit.
A little bit.
Yeah, accidentally.
Accidentally?
Yeah.
How?
I was not built for this. I wasn't designed to be a comedian. It was a shock to everyone, including myself, when I actually did it. And then I was like, hey, this is easy money.
I'm good at this.
Hey, I'm good at this. And then I just stuck to it.
What do you mean designed? As in, do you think your parents had a different path for you? Is that what you mean?
No, designed as in my personality was, I was very serious. I was very I had
Not funny.
No, I was very ambitious, and I was never fun. So my ambition was in this career path that I built for myself, and I really wanted to get there. And I just didn't look around me. I wasn't fun around my friends. I wasn't the funny guy. Maybe at home, but when I was outside, I wasn't.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then, so it was a shock. It took me a long time to convince people to come to my show. I'm like, no, I am doing comedy.
And how did you fall into it?
Okay, so this is what happened. I was trying to quit my job at this really great company, and I was gonna start setting up my thing, and they kept trying to convince me to stay. So my last sort of attempt at doing that was with the owner of the company, and I was like, I want to do this and that, and he was adamant.
This and that.
This is like, right, I want to start my own company, I
Focused.
want to whatever, and then he was telling me, but he was trying to warn me of the recession that was coming, because this was
Hey, that
2008.
small thing.
Right, he said, no, it's not the right time to start a business. And I'm like, no. And so I just subconsciously, I guess, I had it somewhere, because I had attended one of the Laugh Factory gigs, and I just maybe pictured myself on that stage at some point. So I just said, hey, I want to try comedy. I just blurted it out. And a few months later, they booked me for my first comedy gig at one of their gala dinners.
How did that go? I'm assuming well, considering, you're here.
Well, terrible. No, it didn't. So it
Was
was
that the first time you ever stood up in front of an audience?
right.
Wow.
And it was 800 dentists from all around the world.
Oh, a fantastic audience right there.
And I had 30 minutes, and this is like an outdoor gig, and you can hear the waves crashing. It was like one of those things where it was loud.
The elements were just against you.
Everything was, it's like a PlayStation version of comedy. And so I had to go in to meet my boss and like the head of the dental committee in the meeting rooms where I used to have meetings, and tell them my jokes, and they would okay them. They're like, okay, all right, we can have you on, because I didn't have a track record to show, hey, this is what I've done. They're like, okay, you have to come and audition. So I was auditioning to my former boss, but they were very cool about it. They're like, okay, we think this is funny. We want you to do it.
So they literally had to like veto or like, yes, that's funny. No, that's not.
Basically, all the dentist jokes were vetoed. Everything else was left in.
Maybe they've heard them all before.
No,
Or
they
they
were
just
afraid
didn't
that,
find it funny.
they were like, dentists are very sensitive. I'm like,
Like
Aw.
their teeth.
I was gonna say maybe it's the cavity, but it was.
Please tell me that was on the list.
No, it wasn't. I had so many things. I think, but I was new, so there was a lot of cliche stuff as well. So
Okay.
because I'd never been to a dentist until that point in my life, so I
Wow.
had no,
Really?
no reference. Listen, we are
That's a whole
desert.
other story.
I come from a different generation. Okay?
800 worried dentists be like, we just want to see his mouth.
Right?
Are your teeth good? There you go. So, like, to do that and to obviously kind of go out and just do it really, really, like, rogue, as it were. Like, how did you go out? Like, if it has your humor like changed from obviously when you started off? Like, how would you
Yeah.
describe it now?
Look, there's two things that happen. You grow as a comedian, but you also grow as a person.
Yeah.
So you're constantly evolving and you're understanding life a lot more. I've always had Germany jokes because I have German cousins, right? But when I went to Germany, I'm like, wait, everything I'd ever thought about Germany is wrong, right? So this is part of the evolution where you go, maybe some of the stuff I was saying was probably offensive. So I
The
started removing
stereotypes,
that.
kind of,
Right,
and then you change
right.
it. Okay.
So you remove these stereotypes. You say, okay, this is not offensive. This is actually fun. So you keep it, right? Even though it might not be 100% the truth. So you're constantly evolving. You're changing.
More
You're moving.
observational.
Right,
Yeah.
right. So you grow as like I would never like the very first joke I ever wrote for this show. I would never do that now.
Right. So does that mean it's not PC?
No, I'm very PC, but the joke itself is it's immature.
Changes.
Take us back though. So comedy hasn't always been a part of your life. Can you remember the first time you found something very funny? Like the first time you just laughed out loud?
Ooh, you know what, we used to do this when we were in my like as kids. My family would hang out, and we had like 2 TV channels or whatever.
The good old
Actually,
days.
in the good old days, right? And in the summer, it was great because we would get like Armand TV because it was humid. So we're like, yeah, I was like, we got Armand. What do you have? Well, yeah. So we would just hang out and do impressions of each other. And that was one of the funniest things. Like you just get up and like, hey, I'm walking like mom, and then you do the whole mom thing, and then your mom is right behind you. You didn't know that. She smacks you on the head, and that was always like just part of that. We just did impressions of each other, and voices, and that's always a part of what I am. In terms of stand up, the first thing I discovered stand up wise, I mean, I kind of knew it was there, but I wasn't really into it. I heard a joke by Chris Rock that turned my brain. I'm like, this is possible, because he took this, and Chris Rock does this thing where he milks the joke. So you're listening to this, and he just keeps going and going and going. I'm like, one human person can do this to a topic, and that's what really changed my life.
Yeah.
Where I really started getting into comedy. Def Comedy Jam was a huge influence on me as well.
I find it incredible, especially when they milk it for all it's worth. Comedians milk it for all it's worth, and then they go on to another joke, and then they come back again to another joke.
Right.
And it just
the callbacks.
I wouldn't have the memory.
That's why I always say this: writing an hour of stand-up is so much harder than writing a feature-length film, because you have so many characters that you can rely on, to make things happen. Well, with stand-up, the way you write it is you have an idea, and then you have to do it over and over and over again. I still have jokes that I'll do in corporate events or whatever from 10 years ago. And while I'm on stage, I'll figure out a different ending. And I'm like, wait, this is really good. And then you say it. Sometimes you forget. And then you're like, what did I do?
But what happens when that happens? If you change your ending or if you forget your ending, how do you deal with that?
Forget is... When you have experience with stand-up, forgetting is whatever. You just start talking to someone in the audience, or you move on to another joke. So for me, I don't have an order. I always know what I'm going to close with, for example. Oh, this is a college crowd, so I'm going to close with this joke. So I always know where I'm going to end. But if I forget one joke or what's coming next, I'm like, whatever, I'll just go to another joke and I'll come back to something else later. Or if I'm really blank, this happened to me a couple weeks ago. I stepped on stage and I got this migraine. And I'm like, what is happening? And I was limping. I had this whole injury thing happening. I'm like, okay, so I'm going to talk to this guy and find out about his life while this is going to reboot. Yeah, and so I did that, and then I'm like, oh, okay, I'll do this joke now because it fits with what this guy said. And then you just move on.
So there's quite a lot of improv in terms of changing it up.
Yeah, I personally love that. Crowd work is my favorite thing to do because it's free jokes. I have this stuff written, right? It's hey, you're gonna give me free jokes.
But it's so high pressure. And how do the audiences compare? So if you're talking to a Dubai audience compared to maybe audiences abroad, do you kind of change up your comedy a little bit?
Yeah, absolutely. Because there's a lot of references that people will get here that they don't there. But what I don't change, what doesn't change is the story, right? So if I went to the grocery store and I broke something, and that's what's funny about the story remains the same. So over time, you add a lot of local references. So I went there, and then there was this lady, and she was trying to sell me this thing that you all will know about. If I go to New York, they're not going to know what this lady is or what she's trying to sell me. So a lot of times what comedians do is they'll ask someone, like the promoter or whatever, like, hey, what's a Carrefour in your city? You know, like what's a
So
hypermarket?
they get the reference.
So you just start replacing it. I saw there's a great comedian. His name was Judah Freelander, and my wife performed with him in New York for like 7 shows, and it was incredible how much he knew about that little part of New York. He knew, like, so he does this thing where it's specials on Netflix. It's called America's the Greatest Country in the United States or something like that.
All right.
And so he does this thing where he one-ups the audience. So when this guy says, what do you do? He says, I'm a doctor. And he said, oh, well, I bought this hospital. And he knew the local hospital. And you go, oh, my God. And then he's like, oh, I bought this. And then he knew everything about that town, which was very, very impressive.
Wow, that's just knowledge.
That's
research.
That's
right
homework.
there.
That's homework. You gotta, you know what your shtick is, and you know where your laughs are gonna be.
But that's funny because people just laugh at the relevance. It doesn't even need to have a joke there.
Exactly. They're like, oh my God, he said, Burj Khalifa, and then you're like, yay. I was in Serbia.
We're so easy to please.
I was in Serbia, and there was this song playing in the store, and it was like Burj Khalifa, Burj Khalifa. I was so excited. I had no one to share my excitement with. I'm like, did you guys? Okay, never mind.
I went to Michael McIntyre and he mentioned brunch on a Friday and the whole audience was like, yes, thank you very much, Michael.
That's a great joke, by the way.
It is just like the
Brunch.
the local nuances.
Local flair.
It's like, so have you ever experienced heckling?
Yeah. I welcome it.
Do you?
I love it.
So if somebody's there, like, get off the stage, or like starts giving you like,
So
I know, like-
I haven't experienced that,
yeah,
like hatred, but like you'll have some tough shows
yeah,
where you're like, okay, I gotta. So whatever your strategy is based on the audience, you start recruiting people on your side,
Yeah.
whatever. I've never had a boo get off the stage type situation, but people will say some really stupid stuff that they don't really. But in their minds, that's the
they
funniest
think it's
thing.
funny, yeah,
Right. And as a comedian, you're in control of the whole situation because the crowd is on your side.
Yeah, they want
they're
a
here
good
to see
show,
you.
yeah.
Right? It's like Jimmy Carr. Like people like pre-plan his heckles because they know how good his response is going to be.
master.
a
He's a
clap
master.
back is
Right.
fantastic.
It's unbelievable. So like people enjoy that, but also at the same time, everyone else is like, okay, you've had your 60 seconds. Now we paid to see this person, right? So as long as you know the audience is on your side, you're cool.
It's a good attitude to have.
Yeah. I mean, this heckler, they can say whatever they say is wrong.
True. I don't know how you do it. Standing up
Uh.
on stage, work that audience. It's like, oh.
If you see the money, you'll do it too. You're like,
Career
whoa.
What makes you laugh?
What makes me laugh? Life
Okay.
in general, like.
That's a really nice thing to say.
Oh, thank you.
That's
I didn't
so
really mean it in a
nice.
nice way, but okay.
I just laugh
You're
at
like
it.
people on the street, dogs, funny kids.
Absolutely, we did.
Kids that look funny.
I went a really nice, oh, what a lovely thing to say. No.
No, like people say dumb stuff all the time, and I'll be sitting, and sometimes I'm like, just like a table over, and you're sitting and you're suffering, not because you want to laugh so hard. This happened to me today.
I'm not going to lie, I love good people watch. Why, what happened today?
I don't remember, but it was so funny. The way I said it was, it prompted the what happened today. But this happened today. Like, I don't remember what happened, but I just remember laughing so hard.
So rather than being infuriated, you just laugh at the little things in life.
Yeah. Someone said this, like, time plus pain is equal to comedy.
Time plus pain equal to...
Right. So if it hurts today, if it's frustrating today,
Yeah.
you're going to be able to see the
Laugh
humor in it
about
later.
it, yeah.
Like, you can say, oh, the most common thing is, oh, I got in trouble in school and my mom did this, and I got in so much trouble, and everyone there is laughing, including yourself, because now it's a funny story in hindsight.
Yeah, that's really true, actually.
Yeah, and usually it's because you were dumb in the situation, and that's why it's so funny. It's like, oh, I shouldn't have done that, and that's what my mom was right.
Own your dumbness,
That's
basically.
Right, absolutely.
And we're going to talk about confessions in a little bit. I feel like
Uh-oh.
there could be embarrassing ones, but actually when you look back at them, we laugh now. Then, not so funny. Now.
Absolutely. Like, if you
I mean,
look
there's
at...
been too many to count, to be honest.
Like, we're lucky that there wasn't social media
Oh my,
like 50 years ago.
100%, 100%.
Right.
I don't think I would want to know all my like stupid indiscretions when I was a kid.
But does it help you as a comedian? Social media, it must do.
I'm horrible at it because don't like the attention. And everyone that's ever tried to convince me to do it is, oh, you have to create content. I'm like, yeah, that takes a long time, so I don't do it like weekly like everyone else. They say, well, people they're interested in what your life is, and you're backstage and whatever. I'm like, it's the most boring thing ever.
Or you might think it's boring, but other people might not.
But it's principally, I don't think people should consume
That stuff.
Yeah, it's
private.
It's not. Yeah, like there's the private. Like I will never post pictures of my kids until they're old enough to say, I want my picture to be out there.
Yeah.
And people get mad at me for that.
I was just gonna say
They're like,
that's
how come
fair.
you're not?
Yeah.
How come you're not posting your kids' pictures? I'm like, well, if you're not in my life enough that you've met them or seen them, or have pictures of them yourself,
Yeah.
then you're not.
It's so
Supposed
funny
to.
because I think that's so fair, but it's also kind of refreshing because I don't think anyone else lives by it. Like it's a lot of people do share kind of their intimate details online and put it public, which is kind of
Right, which they do it well, and I consume some of that too. There's some people that I like and I watch and you learn from them, but I'm just not that person. You're not going to learn much from me, and I'm not going to film myself eating a cupcake.
As a comedian, you can make it funny. I feel like we've gone way away.
We do, I'm doing this thing today for the New Year thing.
Funny.
The recap, everyone's like, January, I was in Bali. February, I'm like, so I'm doing my own spoof on it today as well. Because
I want to see that.
it's not, I don't know. Look, your life is great to you. Like in everyone's story, we're the main character.
Yeah.
We're the lead actor.
With Marilyn's.
Right? Exactly. Well, not me, but I do have the dress though. But when you push like a few meters away from you,
Yeah.
then you're not as important. And if we all can be okay with not being as important, then I think we'll be happier, because then we're not constantly saying, what am I going to show the world now? I don't have to.
Well, yeah. I mean, especially with like kind of social, it's a different story than actually your life for some people anyway.
Right.
So
Right. It's all put up, and I don't put up very well.
yeah.
Don't put that.
Can't
that
change
sounded
this, we're
No,
live.
we're live.
We
that
wanna
sounded very bad.
We want to talk about comedy heroes. We have this fun
Okay.
little game for you.
I kind of think I already know one of these because
Okay.
you've already mentioned him. Rank these comedy legends from best to worst.
Okay.
Or hang on, no, got this wrong. See?
My English number one.
Okay.
So 3 comedy legends.
You can start. Thank you.
One will play you in a Lifetime movie.
Okay.
One you'll share a stage with.
Okay.
And the other you think.
Deserves to be heckled.
Okay.
Deserves to be heckled.
Yeah.
So you have to rank the 3.
Chris Rock, Dave Chappelle, Ricky Gervais.
Oh, Ricky Gervais heckled all day.
I love him.
All day.
I love Ricky Gervais from
He's-
The Office.
He is hilarious,
The
but
Good
he's so
Office.
full of himself, though.
I mean, I don't know him personally. Maybe that's
No, but his
No, but
comedy.
his stand-up, yeah.
Yeah, that's
what
very
I
true.
don't like is when a comedian says, "My way is the only way," which Ricky Gervais does.
And especially online as well, his views are very he's very sure about his views. Yeah, his religious
Which
views.
that part of it I respect about him, because he's very forthcoming and honest about it. What I don't respect is that he tries to shove that down on you.
Yeah.
I think he's reacting to that being shoved down his throat. Growing up, probably that's probably his reaction.
Yeah.
But I feel like like Dave Chappelle, for example, he will drop an idea, an explosion will happen, and all these bloggers just go insane. And then after a while, you go, "That was a brilliant statement." I just watched a video that said the 10 things that Dave Chappelle warned us about.
Oh, really?
And it's like from all his specials and like
Oh,
his
that's cool.
his sketches, and you're like, yeah, he did warn us about it. He's a thinker. So the second one is deserves to be heckled.
That was easy for you.
Share a
Sorry,
stage
Ricky.
with or play you in a Lifetime movie.
Okay, so this is a very tough one for me, but share a stage with. I've worked with Dave Chappelle, by the way,
Ooh.
at the comedy festival here in 2015.